Your Honor, this is a motion to dismiss the trial pursuant to due process requirements of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. For the Commonwealth's knowing use of false testimony tainted the trial and must be dismissed pursuant to NAPU versus Illinois. I have the cases, Judge, and I can submit those to you. I've given some to counsel. Unlike a motion to strike where we're talking about the sufficiency of the evidence, now the defense is making a motion to dismiss under NAPU versus Illinois. This is incumbent upon the moment that you realize what the violation is. And as of yesterday, when the Commonwealth closed, with no detectives, with no evidence relating to the digital forensics, which no evidence relating to the catfish, which has been what they've said all along. It was at that point when they rested that this became incumbent upon me to make this motion. Usually this motion is made in conjunction with a Brady request that's not complied with. It stands for the proposition that if the government knowingly uses false testimony, the trial is tainted, not just for credibility issues, and must be dismissed. In this case, and actually in NAPU, the government failed to correct the testimony of a witness co-defendant who stated he was given nothing in exchange for his testimony when the prosecutor knew he was to receive favorable treatment from the sentencing court. This knowing falsity was enough to taint the trial, requiring reversal. For this, a bit of background is required. In September, the Commonwealth gave me a list of probably 65 witnesses. That was the last filed witness list with, that was probably when Mr. Klingon was still on the case. There was no, pursuant to the discovery order, any witness list filed for the Commonwealth. It was only when I reached out that I was able to get a list of some names that they potentially might be using, of which Detective Miller, who's the digital forensic detective, was not on there, nor was Detective Bryant. In fact, there were very few police witnesses other than Detective Leach, who we did hear from. As the court notes, you've had this case from the beginning. You've seen the battles for Brady material, which we know were violated because ultimately what came was concluded to be Brady and was known to the Commonwealth back in November of 2024, in fact, even before that. Speaking specifically as to the things that were known or should have been known, is Detective Miller, for Fairfax County digital forensic expert at the time, did an executive summary that was in the October timeframe. In that, he says that Christine Banfield, he concluded that Christine Banfield never lost control of her devices. And it was she who was reaching out to Mr. Ryan and others on BDSM websites, thus thwarting the theory that the defendant was part of a catfishing scheme to lure Mr. Ryan to the Banfield home to set up a double murder. Detective Miller's report was sent to be peer-reviewed as the chain of command did not like its findings. That peer review was concluded and they concurred with Detective Miller's report. This was known a year before Mr. Banfield's arrest and coincided with Juliana Peres Magalhães' arrest. During the almost 1 year that Juliana remained in jail, Juliana's counsel requested 2 continuances and never secured a digital forensic scientist. And it's unknown if he knew about Detective Miller's conclusions at the time that he decided to take to advise his client to take the actions that she's taken. When the co-defendant decided to accept the reduced plea for time served and her mother counseled her to take the plea and blame it all on Brenden, there was a highly unusual event for Fairfax County wherein the lead prosecutor for this case, Eric Klingon, questioned and interviewed Juliana in the presence of her counsel and some police detectives. In that video interview, she gave a statement in which multiple occasions of her version did not line up with digital forensics and could not have occurred. Detective Miller was then pressured by the detectives in the case to alter his findings to fit Juliana's story, to which he declined and prepared his summary for the homicide unit. He was then transferred without a request to the child exploitation unit. It can be concluded that as of October 2024, the police and the Commonwealth attorneys knew the evidence did not support the catfishing theory. in October 2025, when she gave her first recant, there were police and prosecutors in there, yet the prosecutor was the one that was questioning. The absolute unprecedented upheaval of the homicide division has been well documented and is directly related to this catfishing theory that was pushed upon, and also by the unsupported evidence. At the defense motion for bill of particulars in September, the court asked, is this still a viable alternative for the Commonwealth to prove catfishing, and the Commonwealth committed to that. However, as the evidence ends yesterday, Judge, we have nothing but Juliana Peres Magalhães. That's, as to the motion to strike, I understand the court's position, but these findings and the evidence to support the finding that the Commonwealth knew or should have known is it within every aspect of this case at this point. This is essentially a lack of candor issue, Judge, with the court, and it's in violation of Virginia State Bar Rule 3, which requires candor with the court. Rule 3.8 requires the Commonwealth be the minister of justice, not just an advocate. Further, 3.8 requires a prosecutor to withhold indictment if there is no probable cause. At the time of Mr. Banfield's indictment, the police knew about Detective Miller's findings, and Ms. Peres Magalhães had not changed her story and accepted the Commonwealth's plea deal. These ethical requirements have not been met. But more troubling is the presentation of false evidence by the co-defendant. It is analogous to a prosecutor presenting the testimony of a victim in a rape case, knowing the DNA exonerates them, but doesn't present it. This known falsity denies the defendant a fair trial. This should be dismissed pursuant to NAPU versus Illinois as violative of the 14th Amendment. And there are additional cases, Judge, which I have for your review, which are closely aligned with NAPU, which is the seminal case.
Yeah, I'm familiar with those cases, but thank you, Mr. Carroll. If you want to.
Would you?
That's fine. Yes, ma'am?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, counsel has highlighted the Commonwealth's witness list containing 65 people, most of whom we did not call. I expect the same to be true of defense, and that is the nature of a case. When we want to make sure that we do not limit ourselves should evidence be required, we list a witness on that witness list, which is provided to the court well in advance of trial. In this matter, we called the witnesses that we believe presented the evidence clearly to the jury. We have presented the physical evidence collected, we've presented the DNA analysis, we've presented the blood evidence, and there is no requirement that we call a lead detective to present a narrative when we in fact have the person who was in the room to present that narrative. In this case, counsel argues that Juliana Peres Magalhães presented false testimony. That's a matter for the jury. Counsel simply doesn't like what she said. That doesn't make it false. At this point in time, Judge, I don't believe that there's any merit to this motion, and we would ask you to deny.
All right. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I am familiar with the NAPCA cases and their prodigy. And the NAPCA cases are a little different from here because in those cases, they're based on a prosecutor's failure to correct testimony that he knew to be false. That's not what we have in this case. There's no evidence the Commonwealth is using false testimony. It's just the weight of the co-defendant's testimony that does go to the jury. I don't have any Brady violations at trial at this time, and none have been alleged. The Commonwealth has presented their evidence, which has survived a motion to strike, but I cannot find any violations of the 14th Amendment. At this time, the co-defendant did provide testimony as to a catfishing theory. The way the Commonwealth puts on their case is up to the Commonwealth. I don't have any evidence or showing that the Commonwealth has used any false statements, testimony that they knew to be false. So therefore, I'm going to deny your motion. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir. Are you going to start with the evidence, the exhibits?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Have we gone over them?
Yes, we have, Judge.
Okay, and do you have an agreement as to which ones you don't
There are
object to?
several that the Commonwealth would agree may be admitted. There are equally as many that the Commonwealth would object to.
So we'll just go one at a time? Is that the
Probably for the
easiest?
best.
Okay, all right. We ready for the jury then?
Judge, the Commonwealth does have a request.
Okay.
Our expert who testified yesterday, Iris Dallygraph, she has flown home, and we are asking that she be permitted to watch his expert's testimony through the live feed so that she can then, if recalled
If
in
you have a
rebuttal.
rebuttal. Any objection to that?
No.
Okay, no objection, so
Thank
that's
you.
fine. Thank you. All right, we're ready for the jury. Okay, sure. Yep. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the Commonwealth has rested. The defense will start their case. I believe Mr. Carroll would like to start with submitting some evidence that was referenced in the Commonwealth's case, but he did not present to evidence, so he wants to put that in evidence now, okay? So we'll go through those exhibits.
Thank you, Your Honor. Harry, can you see that on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, that would be Exhibit 1. I'd move that into evidence.
Judge, we don't have a
We
display.
don't have a screen.
I'm sorry?
We do not have it on our screen.
It should be on the witness screen. Is it showing now?
No, ma'am, it is not.
Can you see it on your screens over here? Yes, you can see it. You can see it in your back screen. There's something wrong with your monitor then.
Okay, we'll just step back.
Okay, that's fine. If that works. We can get, you're attached. You can, it might just be a plug, but. All right. Okay, any objection to defense 1?
No, Judge, there is no objection to defense 1 through 9.
Okay, all right, so Defense 1 is in evidence.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that be published to the jury?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, sorry, is counsel intending that the jury read each of the 73 letters?
We're not have time for that, Mr. Carroll.
Okay.
They'll have them back when they deliberate. And this is defendants 2?
Defendants 2.
All right, no objection from the Commonwealth. Is that
Defendants 3, Your Honor?
3? No objection from the Commonwealth. All right.
Exhibit 4.
All right, no objection from the Commonwealth.
Exhibit 5.
All right, no objection from the Commonwealth.
Exhibit 6.
Again, no objection in evidence.
Exhibit 7.
Again, no objection.
Exhibit 8.
All right, no objection from the Commonwealth.
Exhibit 9.
All right, again, no objection from the Commonwealth.
And I think Exhibit 10 is where
Right. If you could put it on.
I'll show it.
Yeah, if you could put it on the screen, please, so I can see it. Okay.
Yes, and
All right.
Judge Commonwealth objects as this is an incomplete exhibit. It identifies itself as being 1 of 3 pages, only 2 pages are present. The last sentence on the second page clearly indicates there is more to come that has been eliminated from the
Do you have the
exhibit.
third page to this?
I don't have it with me right now, Judge, but she's identified this as something that she wrote. She's identified, nothing's been excluded intentionally.
I understand, but there is a page 3 of 3 that's not there. So at this time, I'll sustain the Commonwealth's objection. If you, at some point, find page 3, we can readdress.
Okay.
No objection to 11 through 15.
Okay, no objection, 11 through 15.
This is 11, I'm sorry. Yeah, 11.
All right, in evidence.
This is Exhibit 12.
In evidence.
Exhibit 13.
Okay.
Exhibit 14.
All right, in evidence.
And Exhibit 15.
15 in evidence.
And I believe that was it for the agreed exhibits.
All right, 16, if you could pull it up. And what will the objection be for 16?
Same objection, Judge.
Okay.
This appears to be 2 pages of a longer letter, while this one does not identify how many pages were originally contained. The last sentence on the second page is cut short, so there is
All right.
clearly additional information that was not included by defense.
If you could go all the way down, Mr. Carroll. All right, so I'll sustain the objection again if you can find the rest of
Okay,
it. That's
thank you.
fine. And then 17,
And Judge, Commonwealth would not object to 17 through 41. I'm sorry, 17 through 42.
so can we just enter 17 through 42 in evidence instead of showing it briefly?
That's fine.
Sure.
I wasn't certain.
That's
sure.
fine by me, but I just want to make sure you're comfortable with it. But they'll have
I'm
all of these.
comfortable with it. Yeah, no,
Okay,
I'm comfortable
perfect.
with that.
All right, 17 through, I'm sorry, what number?
42.
All right, so 17 through 42 in evidence.
And
And then if you could pull up
43.
43, okay, what's the objection to 43?
Judge, this is a letter that purports to be from a third party to
Okay.
a witness. This is hearsay. It is not admissible. That
Okay.
person has not been called to testify.
All right, any response to that?
It's not offered for the truth of the matter, Judge. It's
Then
offered
what
for the
it's-
subject matter, I guess.
Then, Judge, I would object as not relevant.
I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay. Okay, that's 43. And then 44, do you have an objection?
Yes, Judge. No, I'm sorry. 44, no objection. 45, no objection. 46, no objection. Our next objection doesn't hit till 51. So
Okay,
through
so-
40, I'm sorry, through 50, no objection.
All right, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50 in evidence. If you could pull up 51.
And Judge, the objection is that 51 and 53 are duplicates. If he could elect which one he would,
Oh, they're the same?
Yeah, Judge.
Correct.
and I-
Okay,
and
which
I was
which
going to
one?
identify that as well.
Sure, which one would you like, 51 or 53?
Let's go with 51 and
All right, we'll put
scratch 53.
51 and withdraw 53.
no objection then to 52,
Okay,
54
okay,
through 56. Our next objection is 57.
all right. So 55 and 56 also, and 54 in evidence, 57. That's the one from the producer, correct?
Correct,
So,
hearsay.
Assuming objection is hearsay.
Correct.
Judge, I'm offering it not for the truth of the matter, but for the timing of the matter.
I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay. 57, all right. She already testified to it. They still have that information. 58,
No objection. 59, no objection. 60, objection. Third party to,
from her mom. Okay,
Correct.
if you could pull up 60. So 58 and 59 are in evidence.
Uh, 60, Your Honor?
Yes, the objection is hearsay.
Hearsay?
Yes.
Once again, it's the timing of it that I'm looking for, but I understand.
Okay, I'll sustain the objection as to 60. We have 61.
objection.
I think it's a motion
It
to
is.
continue trial. Okay, what's the objection? I mean, that's a court record, but what's the objection?
Judge, it's not a court record in this case.
That's true.
And it contains a number of opinions of counsel
Okay,
that I do not believe have been testified
All right.
to. So hearsay.
all right.
I think it's a judicial document that the court can take notice of. It also shows the timing of what it is that In terms of the timing of when this motion is being set, it's weeks before her pending trial.
Which she testified to, and you do have evidence of that, but this does contain hearsay, so I'll sustain the objection to 61. 62 is a picture.
Objection, it is actually a video. It's the recorded call and is hearsay.
Okay, all
It's-
right.
it's-
So don't,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Do you want me to open it up?
No, I don't need you to open it up. I recall. You had just showed the picture. I didn't allow the video at the time, if I remember correctly.
Right, and
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah, no, I had just had a picture of it at the time of the testimony. I didn't allow the video at the time.
Correct.
The audio.
Correct.
I think it was an audio file, yes.
And this is an audio file of her negotiating with a producer relating to Hulu, Netflix.
All right, I'm going to sustain the objection then. Thank you. 63,
No objection, Your Honor. Next objection would be to 70.
all right, so 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and if we can go to 70, I think that's a conversation.
And
What's that
Judge,
conversation?
the objection here is to relevance. I'm not sure. It's such a brief portion of a conversation, and it doesn't appear to have.
If you have a way to close that for me, Mr. Carroll, I'd appreciate it. I think that closes the whole PowerPoint. Can you do that? What was the time frame of the conversation? Do you recall, or do you have it?
Judge, I can pull it up.
I just can't see.
Judge, I don't know why that's popping up.
I'm not
This is the court's computer.
I think you have to sign into your account on that computer, but that's.
So, Judge, the chat begins on January 9th. It is purportedly between Christine's phone and an unidentified user, and it talks about having had fun that day with Valerie.
Okay, and that's when the co-defendant testified that that was a conversation she had with Christine, correct? And your
I believe
objection
so.
is relevance?
My objection is relevance. I'm not sure where this has to
All
do
right,
with
how is this conversation relevant?
The January 9th is an important date, as the testimony is brought out. It's the date when the email was set up for the connection with all of the devices.
All right, I'll overrule the objection. 70 is an evidence, overcome this objection. And then 71.
Objection, Your Honor. Those are portions of a document. Best evidence would be the objection. It needs to be the
entire
entirety
document.
of the document.
All right, are you able to get the entire document for January, I think it's a January 21st, 2023?
We have admitted it into evidence.
Okay. So you already have the entire document in
Correct.
evidence?
It has been
All right, so do we
admitted.
need this then, Mr. Carroll, if this is just parts of it?
These were the FetLife communications, Judge.
Right, which they already have in evidence. I can't remember what number their evidence. Do you have the number?
I do, Judge. 77 through 79.
Is the entirety of what is
Correct.
parts on this? Okay.
If that's, I'll withdraw that.
All right, we'll withdraw 71. That takes us to 80.
Is counsel not offering
think-
72, 73, 74,
I
75?
think we're offering to 71, Judge.
All I have is to 71. You're not doing 80, 80A, B, C, D?
Not at this
81?
point, Judge.
Okay. That's all I have then,
Okay.
right? Okay. All right, yes, sir, then your first witness?
Judge, I would call Officer Beckner.
Officer Beckner? You might want to check the plugs and see if
Yeah,
they're-
so it actually clicked on initially. There was a view of that computer's screen.
it might just be a loose wire.
Bad way. There we go.
May I just consult?
Yes, yes, sir. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay, good.
We got it. Nope, other way. Just, there you go. Are you doing this? I don't think there are any questions, so I'm happy to do it. It's just whether or not I pay attention.
Good morning, officer.
Morning, sir.
Once I get this video, I'm going to ask you to identify it.
Okay.
Okay?
Sir, could you state your name for the record?
Zachary Beckner.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, do you see that picture on the screen?
Yes, sir, I do now.
Do you? Sorry.
I'm just sorry, is this a video that's already in evidence, or is this video that you are,
This is, so there's, Judge, I'll just tell you, the Commonwealth moved in first 6 minutes
okay.
of
so
this video, and
is-
this is going to be a continuation
All right,
beyond
so
that.
this, what would you mark it as your exhibit then?
I think we're at 84, are we?
Let's see. 82, if you want to go in order.
Let's go in order, yes.
Okay,
82, thank you.
82. Okay, thank you.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to look at that picture and tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if you can identify what you see there.
It appears to be body cam footage, sir.
Okay, and was this the body camera video from your body cam?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay, and this was on, what date was this on?
February 24th, 2023.
Okay, and this is what if anything are you doing as you go in?
From this, I'm about to enter the house.
Your Honor, he's identified the video. Can we publish this to the jury?
You want to admit it into evidence?
Yes.
Is it under seal?
I think it is
Okay.
because of the graphic nature of it.
All right, so 82, any objection, 82 under seal? No, ma'am. All right, 82 in evidence, under seal.
Anybody else downstairs?
Where's the shop person?
Oh, he's downstairs. He's just.
Who else? Just us?
All right, hold down, somebody hold down.
Brother, they're saying one of the patients is outside now.
So somebody's outside. In the back? Anybody else outside? Who else is outside?
Nobody's outside.
Anybody over here?
That's in my room. And here.
Here, ma'am, stay here, ma'am. Stay right here. Who is the shooter? Who shot who?
Brendan, he's an officer.
I got a blowout kit if you need it.
Bring it up.
Is there anyone else in the house? You need kids in the house? Got multiple sevens, clean up. Look at those guns.
Ma'am, I need you outside now.
She's reading.
What do you need?
Get medics in there now.
Scene's cold for medics.
He grabbed my arm. Who did? He grabbed my arm when I just heard the plane. Okay.
Sir, at this point, had you engaged in any duties at what you're seeing right now in the video?
Could you clarify what you mean by this?
What were you doing? What were you asked to do? What did you take it upon yourself to do?
We were trying to locate a chest seal in the medical kits that we carry in our cruisers.
Okay, and that's something that you had with you?
That's what the black bag is that I sat down on that bed.
Okay.
Get it, someone with him. I don't know where he shot at. Who's that chest wound seal? I need it from the back right now. You got stabbed by him, so watch him.
I have one.
Guys, chest seal. Now.
We're looking for it, buddy. We're looking for it. Get gauze. Get gauze out.
Up this way.
Upstairs. Hey, chest seal on her, and I'll get her right now.
Just stay right there. Stay right there. There's another one behind me.
Hey, open this up for Bumler. I got the other one for him. Okay, go.
What do we need? Someone check for a pulse for the guy behind me. He's breathing, so.
We got one guy up here, gunshot wound, one female, multiple stab wounds.
Can someone do this for me?
I don't have anything.
Up this way. Just go in the tub. Just in the tub. He's in the bathroom, up here.
I don't have a pulse on him.
He's down in there. Multiple stab wounds on
I
that.
don't have a pulse on him.
Where's the gunshot wound?
I'm not entirely certain, sir.
Let's check.
Chest.
Okay. Hold this down. Let's work on her, okay?
Sit in the tub. Sit in the tub. Sit in the tub.
You need another chest seal?
Yeah, whatever you have.
Hey, get another ALT, get more blowout kits.
Carpine Bravo, Fairfax County 4.
I don't know.
You shot in the head?
It's
a lot of blood. It looks like it's probably from a lung.
No need for canine or helo at this point. Canine 10.
I don't even know what to do.
Just leave it. Just leave it where it is.
Okay. Yep. Since we got this kind of wait for medics, can you talk with him?
I don't have a pulse.
Stand by 1 second.
Is medics expediting or where are they at?
I can feel him.
Guys. Hey, do you have a pulse on him?
No, not at all. What do you need?
Go ahead.
Multiple stab wounds on her.
Yeah. Go ahead and start going.
Who's most viable with you guys now?
She is. Alright. Multiple stab wounds to the neck.
Thanks. Where is he?
To the right, we have a pulse, multiple stabbings. To the left, you hear the CPR and gunshot wound.
Alright.
Who's still breathing?
We're here.
Multiple stab wounds to the neck.
Don't know if it's one on the other side.
Okay, she's still breathing?
We can feel blood moving. We can see her.
You can stop him if you're drawing.
Yeah, we're gonna get her. Okay. He's gonna be way over there.
Yeah, this.
Is he breathing over here?
He's breathing. That's why we're moving.
Grab him, take him downstairs.
I can't feel a pulse.
You can't feel the pulse? It's hard to feel.
Are you hurt?
Stand by.
Sorry.
Nope, there's no pulse wounds.
Nothing? There's nothing.
What do we need?
I think that guy's gonna be definitely DOA for the shot. I mean, we can. I think that might be obvious over there. So you can close over here. This is my way. I don't know.
Oh,
What do you want to do? Do you want to grab that and go?
this is his house, that's his wife. Don't know who this is.
She's done. All right, that's fine. I don't know. You want to get a rhythm on that?
Yeah. You want to? I got the monitor.
It's right there behind you.
You have it? Okay.
All right.
So where is he?
Grab
the guy over there. Get him down. Don't This is not Bumler's.
There was two on the bed when I came in.
Okay, this one's got blood on it. So stay with him. I'm not sure if he doesn't know. Stop him.
I'm gonna wait till he's done.
Yeah. You don't know that guy? No. Yeah.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out where's the gun currently.
On the bed.
Firearms right here.
Leave them right where they are, if that's where we found them.
We moved them away.
Alright, that's not.
They were on the bed though.
Yeah, let's listen.
We have a knife right there.
You guys are good.
Yeah.
Hey Sarge,
What's up?
do you want us to escort him outside?
Yeah, right now they're working, so we're just gonna be one more.
So,
We're not working. Bob, I'll get him out.
So once they, is she
Alright.
gonna be okay? We're gonna let them work through it.
Want to move her and go?
yeah, let's just move her in.
Alright, get you downstairs. Hey,
Alright, we're gonna move you.
very close to escort them down.
Got a knife here.
Yeah.
Is there kids down there?
Zach, the kids are out of the way. Kids are outside. We're gonna clear the rest of the house.
Okay, someone's gotta go with them.
Okay.
You guys want me to go with them?
If you want to go with me, that's fine. Zach, stay here.
All right.
You're with me. We're gonna check the rest of the house.
What are we doing here?
He's just saying, we're gonna make sure no one else is hurt in the house.
Okay, all right. We're gonna get husband downstairs.
Sir, that's the video that you previously watched, the Commonwealth's case, correct? Up to the 6-minute mark?
Yes, sir.
Okay, was your body camera continuing beyond that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and approximately how long did you, were you escorting Mr. Banfield that day?
Correct. I escorted him out of the house to the ambulance, rode in the ambulance with him to the hospital.
Okay. Your Honor, that clip was identical to what the Commonwealth did. I have the longer clip, and I'm just going to switch that out right now so we can go from this point and continue on with the clip.
So 82 should just be your second part?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we'll keep this, what we just watched will stay as the Commonwealth's exhibit, and then now 82 will just be what you're going to play from here on out?
Yeah, from 6:42 on.
And you'll have a separate file? You have a separate file for that? for
Yes,
me? Okay.
I just have to.
Okay, so 82 will just be that separate file then?
Okay.
Okay. And I assume there's no objection to the continuing of the body cam?
No, ma'am, and just for clarification, what we just watched was Commonwealth 6.
Number 6?
Yes.
Okay, so that will stay at Commonwealth 6, and then whatever we're about to play now will be 82, and I assume there's no objection to the rest of the body cam?
Correct.
Okay. So 82 will be in evidence. Under seal.
It's 'cause he disconnected it.
We're gonna get husband downstairs. All right, guys.
Somebody get behind him.
So she's PA was really
Sir, do you recognize that as being continuation of the video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So she's gonna go up to Brenden, obviously, that's gonna be the closest one to that. He's obviously gonna be DOA on
Hey, can you check him out?
Yeah, I got more units here, we'll check him out.
He's starting to break down a
Yeah.
little bit. Stay with Sergeant. I'll just do a walk through, okay? What did you say the other just say? Okay. We're gonna have to get him out of here.
Yeah, I know.
Can you give him a second? Don't touch anything else.
I'm not. Let me change my gloves out. We can get him out of here. Knife's there, guns are on the bed. I got you.
We're gonna take him and stick him in the freezer.
Yeah, I gotta hook him up, guys.
Having a breakdown?
Yeah, just give him a second.
I gotta put him on the monitor.
Yeah, go for it. Is she okay? So the fire department, they take over at this point? We're kind of just here. Is she breathing? So again, they're down there. What I want to do is get
Just
you
watch what
upstairs,
you're
get you
kicking,
outside,
please.
get arrested. All right. Is that all right?
I know what you gotta do. I'm just,
If you can't walk, we can wait a minute. You need a minute?
Now, was that you saying, "Watch what you're kicking"?
yes, sir.
Okay, and was that directed toward anyone in the room there?
It was directed towards the firefighter that you saw with the face covering on, the mask.
The one who came by you to your right?
Correct.
Okay, and was he tending to the scene over near Joe Ryan?
Correct. He was hooking him up to leads.
Okay, and was there distortion of how it looked before he?
Objection leading.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading if you want to rephrase.
When you said stop kicking, what were you referring to?
He had kicked some blankets out of the way.
Okay. Do you remember the colors of those blankets?
I believe they were purple.
Purple? Okay. Were they the only blankets or towels that were in that area?
I don't remember, sir.
Okay, you just remember him kicking?
Correct.
Okay, do you remember if he kicked anything else in the crime scene?
Not that I'm aware of, no, sir.
He stopped after you?
After I told him to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just giving you some fresh air right now, I think will help, okay? So we can get you outside.
Can you got gloves on?
Yeah.
Can you help him? Just be with him.
Yep.
Now, you're holding Mr. Banfield, my client, at that time. What was the reason for you to hold him?
He was unsteady on his feet, sir.
Okay, did you hear him say anything or relating to his ability to walk?
At that point in time, no, sir.
No, sir?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. But you, sometime later on in this video?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Whenever, what's your name?
Brendan Banfield.
Say, with Vienna?
Easy. Sorry, say it again.
So you with Vienna?
My office is in Vienna, correct. Did you call my office?
No.
I need to call my manager at some point.
It's the least of our worries right now, man.
We're just gonna get you in a cruiser outside in the air where you can breathe. You're okay, okay? You're not hurt?
I don't think so.
We'll check him out when we get him over to the car.
You have an awesome walking with you all day?
Watch out, watch out.
Step off into the grass? Yep.
What's wrong with your right leg, sir?
I don't know, maybe just nervous.
Okay.
I'm going to be calling medics 436 to Reston Hospital.
Just take some deep breaths, all right?
Can you just sit down somewhere there?
Is there a way to get an update? Right now.
They're handling everything from here. He doesn't think so. We haven't had a chance to really do a full inspection quite yet. If you guys want to check him out.
Yeah, we can do that.
He's just a little unsteady on his feet, though.
We can go put him in the ambulance
All
up
right,
here. Just to
let's do that then.
We're going to go ahead and check this gentleman out in the back of the ambulance, okay? We'll check the stomach bag.
Officer Beckner, had my client complained of any physical ailments other than having difficulty walking?
Just whatever he said was going on with his right leg.
Okay.
That was it.
And when you said you were going to go check him out, was there anything that caused you alarm that caused you to want to have him checked out?
I just wanted to make sure he was okay.
Okay, thank you.
Where's my daughter?
I think she's out there with them, so. Is there anybody else in the house other than your daughter and the other female?
So she's an au pair, Manny.
Okay.
She lives with us.
But it's just the two of them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my daughter.
Just one sec, we're gonna head around to this other door here, alright?
This way.
A little bit of blood on me, you'll have to sit here, okay? Right here. As high up in this crease as you can.
Yeah.
Is anything bothering you right now?
I feel unsteady.
Okay. Were you hit with anything? A knife? Anything?
No, I took the knife. I took the knife from him.
Okay. Alright. So you're not hurt anywhere. Is that not your blood, correct?
I think it's.
Alright, you wanna slip this jacket off for me so we can evaluate you real quick? I'm gonna have you kick your other foot up for me.
Yeah,
So you
I
can
think
get it
that's
off.
fine. Yeah.
Hey, Hunter Bravo. Scout 800 Bravo.
Okay.
Take pressure, all right?
Rambo's going to be set up at Stablebrook Way and Gilbert Court.
Officer Beckner, do you know who took possession of the jacket when it was taken off of him?
Officer Hugh?
Officer Hugh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just gonna take your watch off for now, alright?
That's fine.
So I can see. I give it to the officer standing behind you. Where'd all this blood come from, do you know?
I was holding her neck.
Okay.
Do we have any crossings that need to be covered?
511
Is there a way to
Bravo,
get
I've
an
got
update
one
on
up at
I'm
Powell's
taking
Tavern
her
in
to the
front of
hospital right now. They're
Grangeville.
not gonna have much of an update. They're gonna take her to rest in hospital, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, I don't see any wounds on you. I'm just gonna check you out. Would you like to run up to the hospital?
Can I be with her?
They're gonna work on her when they get there. You wouldn't be able to see her immediately anyway. If you do choose to go.
Yes, I want to be with her.
Okay. Then we'll take you up there for evaluation then, okay?
Sure. What's going to happen to my daughter?
That I'm not sure. That's a
As
question
of
for the
right now, I
officers.
believe she's sitting with one of our officers until we figure out what all is going on.
Say again that last crossing.
Hey, Doherty, it's going to be Drainsville at 8:50 to 9:20, right there in front of the Kiss and Ride.
Let's get squeezed real tight. Alright, perfect. We'll take all that off then. You can take it off there. Okay. Just squeeze his arm. Take this off from your neck. So just to confirm, nothing's bothering you right now, right? Physically, you weren't injured at all.
If anything hurting you at all, man, they're trying to find out so we can make sure we get you help too.
Yeah, more doors pulling out of here. You guys.
We're going to need his,
No, you're good. You're good. Take the hands
we need
down.
that.
That's fine.
If not, or sick.
You're not going to be able to have him in the hospital anyway?
Fine.
Yeah, let me have the wiper.
I have cops.
Okay. What department are you with?
Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Services.
Okay. It's okay. Those can stay for right now. That's fine.
Zach,
Yeah.
so before you roll, let me make sure they decontaminate what you have on you, okay?
Okay. I don't think I've got anything directly
your
on
pants
me,
and your-
but, hey, Derek,
Yeah.
I've got Mags and his watch. If you want to hold on to this.
What was that?
I've got Mags and his watch. I'm going to go with them to the hospital. East Department,
a bag.
I don't have an answer to that right now. I wish I did, but I don't. I'm sure they'll give you an update as soon as they can. The question is, would you like to go with us or would you like to go with the police?
It doesn't matter. If I can be with her, that's what
This is what one of the medics have, one of the bags the medics have.
Intersection.
What is he looking for?
Just a
I'm
plastic
assuming so,
bag.
Zach. Did we?
A what?
Plastic bag.
Just right now, did we search them?
No, I haven't searched them yet.
it's. Here, when you stand up.
Sorry, man. It was just.
It's fine. I have.
You're good.
Sorry.
I know. Be a big enough location for command post and the media would be
That's fine. Yep.
I'll leave his badge on him.
Brother, you know the procedure. We apologize.
It's fine.
Knives or anything on
No,
you?
that's my cell phone. Work cell phone. And personal cell
And
phone.
you're with the
Treasury.
Okay.
Did you get him a bag? A bio bag? Do you have a bio bag?
Anything on that side, Terry?
Yeah,
he's going.
Yeah, that's what he just. Yeah, he's got back everything on.
I think there's a couple.
He's Treasury Special Agent.
Officer, is there a policy about searching someone who goes in an ambulance, or what were the circumstances that caused that search?
We were just trying to confirm he didn't have any further weapons on him, sir.
Okay, after he told the fireman that he had the mags?
I believe that's what he said to him.
Okay.
Zach, you gonna go?
Yeah, I'll ride with him. That's fine.
My badge and wallet is in my jacket.
Your badge is clipped on your brother. We're gonna leave that on you, okay?
All right.
My credentials.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead. You can sit back down. You're all right.
I'm gonna follow him down.
Okay.
I'll follow him down to the hospital.
Okay.
You're gonna be in the ambulance?
Yeah, that's fine. Unless
Zach,
What
you
would
see
you-
my iPad right there?
Yeah.
Zach, you got gloves on? Put his, here. Put his stuff in here. I'll follow you guys down too, so.
All right. Whoever's driving my car that was acting.
We'll have to figure that out later. Sir, was yours the Glock 19 with the TLR?
Mine has the light. Yeah.
With the light on? Okay.
My other gun. My other gun is my personal weapon.
Oh, that's the 43X?
Yeah.
So both those are yours?
Both of them are mine.
Okay, the ones that we saw on the bed, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Where do you guys need me at?
It doesn't matter to me. You can probably sit in the captain's chair right there if you're going to ride with us.
He's gonna go.
I'll ride with you.
Yeah, just for evaluation. Yeah.
Okay, sure, good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, BLS good,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you guys don't need anything else,
No, we're good, yeah, go ahead.
we'll head out and we'll take the EMS captain, plug you up, and meet him at rest.
Okay, yeah, command's terminated, so I'm out of here.
All right, yeah, we're good then.
All right, and we're gonna roll over to Reston Hospital then.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we're good, Zach. 2 to Reston.
You go with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we good to go or?
Yeah. To my knowledge, I'll double check real quick.
520 Bravo.
What's your first name?
Brendan. B-R-E-N-D-A-N. Hey, are we good to transport him to the hospital?
Last name?
Banfield. B-A-N-F-I-E-L-D.
What's your date of birth?
2/23/85. Hey, LT or Givens, are we good to transport to the hospital?
Any underlying medical conditions? Hypertension, any cardiac issues? Take any medications for anything? Any allergies to any medications? No. How old are you? Happy late birthday. Call the hospital, let them know we're coming, okay? time to you never
I don't know, man, to be honest with you. I don't see why it would be an issue, but I would hold off for right now.
Alright.
There's no way to get him up here.
No, not until we just get to the hospital. I wish I had more for you, but I don't. The hospital can't tell me anything like that over the phone. They know you're coming and they know your wife.
That's my wife.
They know your wife is there, so I'll be ready for you when you get there.
As of right now, she's still over there. From what I understand, sir, she's there with the other officers that are still on scene.
Are they going to tell her?
I mean, as of right now, there's really no other information to explain to her. I don't think they're going to tell her anything. It's kind of a delicate matter, and I don't think anybody wants to upset her currently.
She's only 4.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
Exact copy on one.
Go ahead.
And the gentleman that you're with, do me a favor, once you get all this information, give me a call with that, please.
Direct. I don't have my phones on me. You spell your last name for me, sir?
Eric, I don't know, you're good, just
Okay. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. You're with the IRS, correct?
MTV 40.
You hold down the scene of the event, stay one way. I apologize. The customer is on the channel. Clear.
10-4, Central Unit, channel clear for routine traffic.
Alright, you okay with walking in? We'll head out because we're here, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll have you step back out this side door that we came in.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Step down there.
Just wait right here for us. We're trying to find out what room to put you in.
Can I see her?
No, not yet.
Any motors on channel 3 or 5?
Just take a seat on the bed for me.
You just said that she didn't make it.
I didn't hear what he said, so.
The cot and stuff probably needs to be switched out.
Can you have someone check with him here?
Okay. What is the nature of the incident?
Check what?
The status of his wife, man.
Hi, sir. My name is Gina. I'm one of the doctors here. Your wife has died.
Where's Gunner?
Where's what?
She's still at the scene, sir. She's with the other officers.
Would you guys be able to ask someone else to bring some tissues? That's been nice.
Okay. We're still burning. Just a heads up. Body cams are still on.
Okay.
It's okay.
Just yell at me. I'll get out of your way.
What's that one?
They said he wants to be evaluated, so I'm going to.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Do you want, just for now, Ken? Were you there at the time?
Yes.
You were there at the time. So is there any part that I can help, I can explain what happened when she arrived here, but you were there and it sounds like there was a lot of blood loss.
Yes.
And so I think that she died of blood loss. Her airway was actually okay. I'll call the medical examiner, of course, and we'll do an autopsy and make sure we know for certain. But
I was trying to apply pressure.
yeah. I mean, those were enormous wounds, and it's not.
There were so many.
Yes, and the neck is not compressible, so it's not possible really to stop all the blood loss. And her airway, it seems like, was in the midline okay. She was able to be intubated. Everything that was possible to be done was done for her right away. You did a wonderful, you did everything that was possible. It's not a survivable injury. Is someone with her daughter?
Yeah, we still have officers at the scene with her.
Okay. Just want to make sure that she's safe.
Yeah, she's safe. Yes, ma'am.
She's only 4.
Yes, sir.
It's for him. And did you get hurt, sir?
I think so.
Are you certain? Did the person come after you at all? Did they hit you or?
I think he put his arm on me at one point, but I don't think I'm hurt.
Yeah, sure. You have tissues here. Do you want to wash your hands? Probably feel better after that. Soap right here.
Officer, is this the situation that the Commonwealth asked you about when you were originally on the stand?
About him washing his hands?
Washing the hands?
Correct.
Yes. And you weren't advised by anybody in your chain of command to not allow washing hands or anything like that?
At that point in time, no, sir.
I'm sorry?
At that point in time, no, sir.
Okay.
Brendan? My name's Maureen. I'm the first person in here today. I'm so sorry for your loss.
My wife is a nurse.
You wanted it to be checked out medically, right?
Sure.
And I have a bracelet with your name on it. Brendan Banfield?
Yes.
I'm just gonna put this on here. Would you like me to call our chaplain? Would that be possible?
Yes, please.
It doesn't sound like that's, I mean, the person struck him once, but, no injuries that we need to do imaging or anything like that for.
Verify that his right leg's okay. He's been having some, said it's been feeling weird.
Okay. Since this morning or before?
No, since this morning. I think
And then,
I'm just.
would you be able to sit down for just a second? I'm just gonna check your vital signs, make sure everything's okay.
Can I get tissue?
Yeah. So. Would you like me to get you scrubs to change into?
Yes.
Hey there. Actually, Mom. You got it? Okay.
So you're gonna feel a squeeze on your left arm. I'm just getting your blood pressure real quick, okay? I'm gonna check your oxygen level over here. So what's been going on with your right leg since this happened? You feel like it's hard?
It's like I'm having spasms right here.
I see, okay. And where did the person hit you?
I only remember my arm.
Okay. Okay, once you change into the scrubs, I'll just look you over there. But I see that you're walking and bearing weight. If anything, it's a bruise, or like he said, you have a muscle spasm because of the stress. I'm gonna run your fingers. Kind of get a little bit. I'm gonna let you get changed and get settled, all right?
You want to get them? You can get them right. It's that ambulance? Yeah. Okay, you already switched out the linen and stuff on the cot, is that okay, or?
I guess so. Okay.
Thank you.
How much do you weigh, honey?
195.
Everybody on the pain, are you hurting?
Officer, is that Officer Bumler? that was with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your daughter and the pair have been taken to headquarters, so they're both accounted for. They're okay, so. Yep.
I'm gonna have to step out after we get bags, phone, and all that.
It's all right there.
When he changes.
Yep.
So I'm gonna see if I have any paper bags.
All right.
Can I call my mom?
At this point, we can't let you do that, because we still have to investigate exactly what happened. Once the detective shows up and kind of talks to you, that's when we can let things, they'll kind of explain a little bit more in depth. We're not gonna ask you any questions about what happened, but what we do have to do is, take photos of you, in the clothes that you have on, so before you change in the hospital gown, and then we are gonna have to take your clothes as well.
I understand.
For that evidence, so.
I understand.
We're gonna do it, and there's no easy way to do it, but kind of the easiest way possible, so, I'm just gonna have to go get my county phone so we can get everything documented, and then basically it should be sending the detective out to kind of come and ask you what exactly happened, because we're not gonna have you go on numerous times and let them do it all, okay?
I understand.
Okay. I'm gonna go see if I can find some.
I know. I got you.
My wife's parents are on their way to my house some point today.
Like Officer Bumler told you, man, as soon as we're able to, we'll let you make phone calls.
Yeah, I don't know what time they're coming. I know they are coming, but I don't know what time.
Okay. I understand.
Hi, sir. Hi. Got some scraps for you to change it.
You said someone needs to take pictures?
Yes, sir.
Before I get changed? Right?
Correct.
Okay.
He's out gonna go grab his county phone. Mine's all back in my cruiser.
I figured I didn't know if you guys need a brown bag.
I think he's getting one, but if you have one, that would be awesome. Just bear with us for just a second.
Just blowing my nose.
Yes, sir. No, I understand. The ER staff has brown bags if you can't find one.
Yeah, just have them get a couple because we have to individually bag it.
Direct.
Is Valerie at least with Juliana?
I believe so, yes, sir. I don't see why they would have them separated at this time. Hey, boss. Can you see if they can bring me a couple brown bags, the paper bags?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm done. Do you want coffee or tea?
I'll have some water.
I'm gonna see if Cranston is gonna be coming this way soon, so we don't do it on the phone, but if not, accent caption is gonna be the way to go.
Appreciate it, bro.
You can eat more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cool.
I gotcha.
See what happens. Okay. So we have crime scene detectives coming out, and they'll be the ones to take all the photos and all that instead of us doing it on our phones. So that way, they're on their way now, so they should be coming in the next couple minutes.
I understand.
Okay. Do you need like a bottle of water or something?
I think someone is going
Yeah, I
to.
think Congress is going to inform. You have any other questions for us I might be able to answer right now, man?
Do we know who the person is?
I don't think he's been identified yet.
I can honestly say that we would not know that information. And at this point, even if we did, we probably couldn't get that information to you. That'd be the detectives that would let you know that.
Start with another unit. This is going to be an EVP call.
Yeah.
10-4, 331 Bravo, can you start?
My name is Betty.
Okay.
I'm a patient advocate, also chaplain, guest services. And is there anything I can do for you right now?
Can we say a prayer for her?
I'm sorry.
Can we say a prayer for my wife?
Say a prayer for your wife. Absolutely. And what is it? What is your place?
Christine.
Christine?
Yes.
No, we have crime scene detectives go take photos and
The
close. They'll be here in a few minutes.
Yeah, she's got some more.
Thank you.
And do you have a specific faith community?
Episcopal.
Gracious and loving God, come before you today in great distress. And Lord, we ask that you be with Christine and with her husband here. We ask that you surround her with your love that she might feel that and know that you are with her. Lord, we ask that you heal as only you can. We don't always understand your healing ways, but just ask that you be with her. And be with her husband now in such distress. Watch over him. Surround him with your love. Let him feel the warmth of that love to carry him through not only today, but days and weeks to come. Lord, we're a family of friends who can support him this time. Please let them open their hearts and arms and provide that loving support that's so much needed. This we ask in your name. Amen. We say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. I give you my card. And I'm here all day. And I'll be glad to come down whenever you need me. And just ask me. Do you have no tissues?
There should be a few boxes of them around here for him now.
I'll be glad to come down anytime. You have a lot to process in the morning. Need some time alone, but you want me to stay.
It's okay.
Will you call me? As I say, I'm here all day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Banfield?
Yes.
My name is Mike Cangignol. I'm one of the detectives. My colleague, Detective Bryant back there. And Detective Hansel. I'm so sorry to meet you under these circumstances.
And sir, is that the entirety of your body-worn camera from that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so did you manually shut it off when the detectives came in?
Correct.
Okay, and then uploaded it into the system?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Any cross-examination?
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, ma'am.
Just a couple of questions. Initially, when we started this video, we started with the portion that the Commonwealth had previously played for you, where you entered the scene. Counsel asked you about your duties, and you responded that you were, at that point in time, working on trying to get a chest seal on Mr. Ryan. Is that correct?
We were trying to locate a chest seal for the female at the scene.
Okay. Were you the first officer to approach Joseph Ryan?
That day, I believe so, ma'am.
Okay. And did you place a chest seal on Joseph Ryan?
Eventually, yes, ma'am.
Okay. You didn't observe any blood coming from Joseph Ryan's chest wound, did you?
None until after I did CPR.
And his hands were folded over that wound, is that correct?
They were across his chest.
All right, when you made it to the hospital with Mr. Banfield, he was not treated for any injuries to his leg, was he?
No, ma'am.
Or any other part of his body?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. No other questions.
Any redirect? All right, is he still subject to recall, or is he done? Is he subject to recall, or?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our 15-minute recess. Just again, do not discuss the case and do not do any outside research, okay? Thank you.
All right, thank you for staying with us. You have been watching the Brendan Banfield murder trial here on WUSA 9+, and we just heard extensive testimony from an officer who was actually on the stand earlier on, with the prosecution calling him earlier on. Today, the defense called him. This was Officer Zachary Beckner, and we could hear kind of his body camera playing from the day this happened, February 24th, 2023. It was a very emotional, testimony, mainly just listening to that body camera footage and hearing him kind of explain some of the things that had unfolded. But I want to take you back to the beginning of today. So today the defense took over. We heard the prosecution. They rested their case yesterday, last night, and the defense came on today. And they began today, John Carroll began by telling the judge he wanted to submit a motion to strike. He claims the prosecution knowingly used false testimony. He's referring to Juliana Peres Magalhães and her testimony. He says that, it was not a testimony that was accurate. He says that Juliana has changed her story multiple times. He also spoke specifically about some of the Fairfax County police detectives who have been involved in this case. And he talked about how they were not called to the stand by the prosecution. And the prosecutor made a point to say that why would she call these officers to the stand when she had Juliana, the actual witness? So why have a detective come on the stand and talk about the same things Juliana could say? So that was her response to that. But the defense attorney, he went through a couple of different reasons why he believed that this case should be thrown out. He said his client is not getting a fair trial, and all of the evidence that they're saying to support this catfishing theory as the prosecution has presented, he says that evidence has not been shared. He does not believe they have, held up their side of the deal when it came to presenting enough evidence to prove that Brendan Banfield killed Christine Banfield, his wife. So the defense says that they are going to be calling several witnesses over the course of the next few days. We did start today with, again, that motion to strike. The judge did deny it. She said that there's no evidence that Juliana Peres Magalhães is lying. There's no violations of the 14th Amendment. And the prosecution did make a comment about how it's not fair for the defense to say that Juliana is lying. She made a point to say that she's not lying, and just because the counsel doesn't like what she said, that doesn't make it a lie here. So a lot of interesting stuff happening right off the top, and that was before the jury was even brought into the room. So the jury came into the room shortly after this, and the first witness called to the stand by the defense is Officer Zachary Beckner. Again, he is somebody the prosecution called pretty early on. He's a 4-year veteran of the Fairfax County Police Department. He was one of the first officers to arrive to the scene that morning, and he talks about what he saw when he arrived at the scene. So again, he's one of the first people to enter the Banfield bedroom, and he sees Christine Banfield, he sees Joseph Ryan, but he also sees Brendan Banfield. And a body camera footage, the body camera that he was wearing, that video and audio is played. Now it's important to mention, we did not see the video ourselves. That video has been sealed because of the graphic nature to it. You're talking about Christine Banfield, who we know was found with no clothing on. She is badly injured at this point. She was expected to pass away. She was still alive, though, at that point. You could hear the first responder saying she's still breathing. And then there's Joseph Ryan in the room, and we know he passed away at the scene. But just a ton of graphic nature to all of this. And again, a warning to those of you at home watching this. This is a very graphic case, so it would be a good idea to keep your little ones out of the room if you are paying attention to this trial. But again, that body camera footage starts playing, and you can hear kind of the chaos of the scene that is unfolding inside of this bedroom. You hear the first responders yelling, do they have a pulse? And you hear Officer Beckner, he says this is his voice talking about he can't find a pulse. He's not even sure where the gunshot wound is on Joseph Ryan, and that's the person he's trying to help. Somebody else is working to help Christine Banfield. He's also at points asking, when will the medics be here? Is there a rush on the medics? You do hear the medics arrive eventually, but at this point, it's still very early on. You hear people saying there's a lot of blood, and we know that this was a very bloody scene. We've seen some of the crime scene photos in the past few days, and he talks a lot about this moment where he says, I don't even know what to do. I don't have a pulse. And you can hear the officer kind of realizing what he's dealing with, that this is a man who's likely not alive anymore. It isn't until about 10 to 15 minutes into this body camera footage, closer to the 10-minute mark, that we hear a voice that the officer says is Brendan Banfield talking about any children in the homes. You hear an officer say, are there any kids down there? And this is when the officer says that Brendan Banfield initially told the people in the room that his daughter was downstairs. Now, other people, Juliana had said that the little girl was downstairs, so they knew, some of the officers downstairs knew there was a little girl in the home, but this is when the officers upstairs who were treating Christine and Joseph Ryan are finding out that there's a little girl in the home. We eventually hear the conversation of where another officer directs Officer Beckner to take Mr. Banfield, so Brendan Banfield, down to an ambulance. He's covered in blood at this point, and while we haven't been able to see this body camera footage because of the graphic nature, we have seen other body camera footage, and there's footage that shows Juliana speaking with investigators, but at points you can see Brendan Banfield being walked out of the home. Officer Beckner says it's him walking Brendan Banfield along with a few other officers and first responders out of the home, and they bring him to an ambulance. Now, this body camera footage, it goes on for quite a bit, and the jurors were able to hear almost all of that footage in two different portions. So the first portion is the portion that they were able to watch initially when the prosecution called Officer Beckner, but today we were able to hear the entire body camera footage from the moments Officer Zachary Beckner arrives to the home to the moments he is told by a detective at the hospital. He says it's about an hour later that he's allowed to turn off his body camera footage. So I'm going to take you through some more of this. Some of the key things that stood out were a part where you can hear Officer Beckner say, watch what you're kicking, please. And defense attorney John Carroll, he asks him about this and he says, what are you referring to? And you'll remember this has come up previously because there's been a lot of conversation and talk around the knife that was used in the killing of Christine Banfield. We know that that knife was moved. It was not in the initial spot. It was moved around as first responders are arriving to the home. So you can hear, watch what you're kicking, please. Now, this, Officer Beckner says, is not about the knife. He's talking about blankets. And John Carroll asks him, who are you talking to? He explains he's talking to one of the firefighters. And you can hear sort of a tense moment where the firefighters essentially, he's like, I'm trying to help the people that are injured, and that's my priority. And it sounds like Officer Beckner is just reminding him, like, hey, we still have a crime scene here, that sort of thing. You move through the video and you can hear him talking about how he needs to hold Banfield up. And John Carroll asked him specifically about this. This is more of a visual thing that we're obviously not able to see, but he says, why are you holding Brendan Banfield up at this point? And Officer Beckner says, because he was unsteady on his feet at this point. At 10:50 is when we hear Brendan ask, where is my daughter? So we're now about 20 minutes into this video playing out, and you hear Brendan Banfield ask the officers, where is my daughter? And that's when they tell him, we're not sure, we think she's downstairs with other officers. We'll get you to them eventually, but that is the first time we hear Brendan ask about his daughter. A few moments later, you can hear them talking about where some of the weapons are, and Officer Beckner tells another officer the knife is on the floor, or we took the knife from him, or the knife is in one spot, the guns are in another spot. You also hear Officer Beckner telling another officer, or asking Brendan Banfield, where did you get the knife from? And Brendan says, I took the knife from him, supposedly pointing to Joseph Ryan in that moment. Obviously, that is not what the prosecution is saying here. And then you hear the officer say, "This is not your blood, right?" And he's referring to the blood that is all over Brendan Banfield's hands, all over Brendan Banfield's clothes. And he says, "No, I was helping my wife." And we know that Brendan, when officers arrived, he was holding Christine Banfield's neck, essentially trying to stop the bleeding. We'll later learn that that likely wasn't something that would have stopped the bleeding. It continues with them talking about whether or not Brendan has any injuries on him. You can hear the conversation between the medics and the officer as they bring him down to the ambulance, and they do check him out. Throughout this, you can hear what appears to be crying, the sounds of crying. And in the courtroom, we see Brendan Banfield, and he is starting to cry in the courtroom as well as this video is playing. He is able to see that video, so he's watching, what is being shown in the courtroom that is not being shown on TV. And so we hear crying noises in the audio of this body camera footage, and you hear them asking Brendan Banfield. They already know at this point that he is some sort of law enforcement officer, but they say, "Who are you with?" And he says, "I'm with the Department of Treasury, the IRS." You hear another officer say, "Have you searched him?" Then we hear what appears to be the sound of them searching him. They find, or they're talking to him about some of the magazines that he had. As we know, he had his service weapon on him. He also had handcuffs and some other items. He was supposedly headed to work when he came back to stop what was unfolding, according to the defense. This continues until they arrive to the hospital, and they arrive to the hospital about 40 minutes after this body camera is initially activated. So from the moments the officer arrives to the home to the moments they arrive at the hospital, it's about a 40-minute. You're watching the Brendan Banfield trial for us.
It's very low. I can hear it, but not enough that I'm forward.
You're watching the Brendan Banfield trial. You're watching the Brendan Banfield trial.
Just before the jury comes back, I just had a question I had Shannon. On that video 82, it starts, there doesn't seem to be anything that needs to be under seal, because it starts with him facing the bathroom and they walk out. Do you, if you want to review it,
I don't believe anything would need to be under seal.
I mean, we can review the very beginning, but you're just going to have just that
Yes.
exhibit for
Yeah,
81.
We're gonna make sure that it's
Just
where we started.
Where you started.
I think that's fine.
Okay, all right, so we won't have that under seal, okay? And we can just confirm when we get it. Yes. All right, perfect. All right, are we ready for the jury then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, your next witness,
Your Honor, Officer Bumler.
Officer Bumler?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? Thank you.
Good morning, Officer Bumler.
Good morning.
I'm going to play a clip for you, and I want you to identify it first, all right, before we play the whole thing, all right?
Yes, sir.
We can't see anything on the screen.
This is not showing. Ah, I think we may have solved it.
Yes, you have.
Looking at that picture before you, sir, can you identify this video?
Yes, that's my body cam video.
Okay, and this is from February 24th?
Correct, 2023.
From time to time, I'll stop and ask questions, but otherwise, I'm just going to have you watch, not the entire one. Yours goes almost an hour like the previous officer, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, we're going to be quite a bit shorter.
Do you want to mark it as?
Mark it as Defense Exhibit 83.
Okay. And is you asking to admit it into evidence?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right, any objection?
Judge, I don't believe so. He indicated he's going to jump around this. I'm not entirely sure.
But do you object to the admissibility of?
No.
Okay. So that can be an evidence. Is it?
Yes.
I don't know what it is, so does it need to be under seal?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So video body cam under seal in evidence 83. Okay.
Shot someone. There's a 34-year-old female that got stabbed by someone, and then he shot him. He doesn't know the person that he shot, but he's on the ground. 50 Bravo is in ground. Hit him.
Oh no.
Zach, come on, kid.
There we go.
Bravo. Go ahead.
Can we figure out if they're inside or outside or where they actually are?
10-4.
Officer Baumler, that's the radio traffic relating to this incident that you're responding to?
Yes.
And you're gathering information as you hear that radio traffic?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right on the shoulder, boys. God, you people. There we go. Come on, figure it out.
Bravo, the patient is unconscious. Apparently she was stabbed in the neck. She's upstairs in the bedroom.
Sorry.
And the subject that was shot is in the bedroom downstairs. I'm going to find the shooter. Let me ask. Be clear to Fairfax County. 10-4. Bravo. 50 Bravo. Whatever units have shield, make sure they put on the radio so we know who he has.
Tank, we don't have time for a
Units with a
shield.
shield advise. 5 Bravo. 5 Bravo has a shield. 5 Bravo. Make sure the caller put the firearm down and send response to update.
Okay.
10-4.
Guys, you gotta go a little faster, huh?
So apparently the caller doesn't know the subject. Then the caller's trying to help the female with the...
Now, at this point, is what you're hearing on the radio the only thing that you know about this?
Correct.
Okay, so there was nothing prior to you starting up your car and going?
So typically what happens is when we get sent a dispatch, it does come to our computer. However, when scenes like this happen, we try to get them as quickly as possible, so most of that information comes over the radio, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You guys gotta drive a lot faster and better.
5 Bravo, Fairfax down is due to the wind.
What wind? Damn it, Zach. Go, Zach.
And just so we're clear, the body camera begins on what prompt?
So it can be activated one of a few ways. In this situation, it activates when the emergency equipment goes on, or you can activate it by pushing it twice.
Okay. And in this still, you're at the residence?
I'm just arriving, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you got one? Where's the shooter? Huh?
Shooter's helping the woman right now from a radio. He doesn't know the man that he shot.
Which house?
1330.
Uh, 52 Bravo, there's 4 of us at the door. 10-4.
Yep. Well, I got voices inside. Let's do something quick. Stack up on me, I guess. County police, call out. Where's the gun at? Where's the gun?
He's up here. He's an officer too. So he just didn't know. This is her house.
Anybody else downstairs?
No.
Where's the shot?
Oh, his daughter is downstairs. He's just
Who else? Just us?
Yeah, she just started out. His daughter.
Guns on the bed. Guns on the bed.
Brother, they're saying one of the patients is outside now.
Sir, is that the first time you've encountered my client, Mr. Banfield?
Yes,
And he was tending to his wife at that point?
it appeared so, yes.
Somebody's outside.
All right. Watch out. We got it. Catch up. Jesus. Dude, give me a,
What can I do to help?
chest seal. Give me a chest seal. Yep.
Bring it up. Anything I can do to help?
Where else was she stabbed? Is there any other stab wounds? Tank, come
She
here.
got something on her hand. It looks
Tank.
like she got something. There. You do it there. Just stand right here.
She got multiple stab wounds to the neck. Okay. Secure those guns.
Ma'am, I need you outside now.
She's breathing.
What do you need?
Get medics in here now.
Seems cold.
And sir, when you said that, you were talking about Christine Banfield's breathing, correct?
Correct.
Who shot? You shot? Okay.
He grabbed my arm.
Who did?
He grabbed my arm when I started applying.
Okay. Someone get with him. I don't know where he's shot at.
Who's that chest wound seal?
I need it from this neck right now. She got stabbed by him, so someone watch him. Guys, chest seal, now.
Looking for it, buddy. We're looking for it. He called out.
Up this way.
Up there. I need chest seal on her and I'll have it right now.
Just stay right there. Shoot him. There's another one behind me.
Hey, you can open this up for Bumler?
Yeah, I can't do anything with this right now.
Go.
Can't do anything with this right now.
What do we need? Chest
Someone
seal?
check my pulse for the guy behind me.
Yep.
She's breathing, so.
We got one guy up here, gunshot wound, one female, multiple stab wounds.
Can someone do this for me? I got one hand kind of tied up here. Up this way.
Just go in the tub. Just in the tub.
He's in the bathroom, up here.
Where do you have chest seal?
On her neck. Multiple stab wounds on her neck. You ready? As soon as I let go. Let me know when you're ready. Ready? Ready? We missed one. Chest seal.
Get another one.
Give me some hand.
There's another half.
Ready?
Go for it. Yep.
Hold this down. Let's work on her, okay?
It's just fucking hold pressure. Just sit in the tub. Just sit in the tub.
You need another chest seal?
Yeah, whatever you have.
Just whatever you. Hey, get another ALT. Get more blowout kits.
Is everybody accounted for? Is everybody okay?
Is there anything else that we know of other than this?
This one and the guy behind me.
On this female.
I don't know. I do not know.
No,
She might have defensive wounds to the hand, but.
Everybody's accounted for? No need for K9 or helo at this point?
K9 10.
Yeah, that's right, thank you.
Securing firearm.
Just leave it. Where it is.
Tank.
Yep.
Since we got this kind of wait for the medics, can you talk with him? Shoot him.
Stand by 1 second.
Medics expedited. Do we have a pulse on anybody?
I could feel him breathing.
Hey, do you have a pulse on him?
No pulse.
Okay.
CPR, go ahead.
Multiple stab
Do
wounds.
CPR on him.
Yeah, if you don't have anything, start going. Start doing it.
Alright, who's the most violent, you guys know? This one, she has a pulse. Alright.
Multiple stab wounds to the neck.
James, where is he? To the right, we have a pulse, multiple stab wounds. To the left, either do CPR or gunshot wound.
I felt the pulse when I was holding her neck.
Alright.
We have multiple chest seals in the neck. We don't know if we have right here.
We don't know any
Multiple
other.
stab wound to the neck.
To the neck?
Chest seal.
Yes.
Don't know if we actually have it or
Don't
not.
know if it's one on the other side. We don't know.
Okay, she's still breathing?
We can feel blood moving. We can see her. We can see her cheek.
You can stop doing CPR on him.
You guys good?
Yeah, we're gonna get her.
Okay. Stay down. New wrist.
Yeah, this.
Is she breathing over here?
She's breathing.
That's why we're moving her.
Grab
Grab him, take him downstairs.
I can't feel it, boss.
You can't feel
Oh my God.
It's hard to feel. Are you hurt? Stand by.
Sir, did you have anything to do with moving any of the firearms?
I did not.
Did you see who did?
I do not recall who did.
Okay.
Sorry. Nope, there's no pulse wound, too.
Nothing.
There's nothing.
I think that guy's gonna be definitely DOA.
I
mean, we can.
So what's
I think that might be obvious over there. Just go over here.
Oh.
What do you want to do? Do you want to grab that and go?
We're done. No, this is.
Don't know who this is.
She's done.
All right, that's fine. You want to get a rhythm on that?
Yeah.
You want to? I got the monitor.
It's right there behind you.
You have it. Okay.
So where's?
Grab the guy over there. Get him down. Get him right.
This is not Bumler's.
Nope. There was 2 on the bed when I came in.
Okay, this one's got blood on it. Yeah. So stay with him. He might. I'm not sure. He doesn't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait till they're done.
Yeah. You don't know that guy at all? No. He's the shooter. Yeah. I know. I'm just trying to figure out where's the gun currently.
There's 2 on the bed.
Firearms right here. Leave them right where they are. If that's where we found them.
We moved them away.
All right, that's fine.
They were on the bed right here though.
Or if you want.
We have a knife right here.
If you guys are good right there. Hey Sarge. What's up? Do you want us to escort him outside?
Yeah, right now they're working, so we're just gonna leave them.
So, I'm not sure. We're not working. But we'll get him out. Fuck, she's an PEA.
So one thing, all right.
She's gonna be over there.
Everybody just move her and go?
Yeah, let's just move her.
All right.
Get you downstairs. Hey, very closely, we're gonna escort him down.
Got a knife here.
Yeah.
Is there kids down there? The kids are out of the way. Don't try outside.
Sir, you accompanied Officer Beckner to the ambulance and all those sorts of things?
So in that situation, I believe what you're trying to ask is, was I in the ambulance with him? Can you clarify?
Well, so at some point, and we just watched Officer Beckner's video. I just want to make sure you went out of the house at the same time he did. Is that correct?
That is not correct, no.
Okay. Did there come up a time where you met up with him at the ambulance?
Yes.
Okay. And then your body-worn camera was essentially the same after that?
Yes.
In terms of the hospital and all those sorts of things? Okay. Your Honor, that's the 12-minute, 36 seconds. That's Defense Exhibit number 83.
Okay, so you'll
And
crop it for me to
yes.
12:36?
Yes.
Okay, to 12:36. All right, thank you. It's in evidence up to 12:36 then.
I don't have any further questions for the
All
officer.
right, cross-examination.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Afternoon, I apologize. When you entered the room, Mr. Banfield was on his knees next to Christine Banfield, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But Mr. Banfield wasn't using that blue towel we see to staunch the bleeding from her neck, is that correct?
Objection to leading, Judge.
It's
It's
cross-examination.
cross-examination.
I do not believe he was, no.
Okay, and he wasn't using the nearby blankets, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and he wasn't using the sheet?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
All right, redirect.
No, you're.
Okay, is this witness subject to recall?
No.
Is he subject? Okay, you're free to go. Thank you,
Thank you,
officer.
ma'am.
All right, your next witness?
Your Honor, I have a video that Ms. Sands and I have talked about that Judge, I think the witness that we need for this video is not here right now,
Okay.
so we'll just
Next-
move on.
Next witness?
My next witness is Leanne Singley.
All right.
Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? Thank you.
Bear with me, Ms. Singley.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please state your name, spelling your name for the court reporter?
Sure. My name is Leanne Singley. First name is Lee, capital ANN. Last name is Singley, SINGLEY.
And what is your particular professional discipline?
I'm a forensic scientist.
Okay, and what areas of forensic science do you specialize in?
So currently I work mostly in bloodstain pattern analysis.
Okay, and can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about your background and your training in bloodstain pattern analysis?
Sure. I guess I'll start with my educational background. I have a bachelor's degree in biology and a minor in chemistry from the University of Pittsburgh. I also received a master's degree with a concentration in forensic science from the University of Florida. In 1987, I was hired as a forensic scientist in the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Laboratory. So I'm just entering now my 39th year in forensics. I spent about 17 years at the State Police Crime Lab and received some training regarding various areas of forensics, but in specific to bloodstain pattern analysis, I started my education in that in 1993. Afterwards, I've had basic and advanced training. I've had training in the math and physics of bloodstain pattern analysis, fluid dynamics of bloodstain pattern analysis, the interaction of blood on fabrics, so a fabrics training class, and other conferences and training opportunities that I've had throughout the years.
Now, ma'am, do you hold any titles on boards or anything like that relating to your professional associations?
So I'm a member, currently a member of the Organization of Scientific Area Committees, which is a federally convened committee that is assisting the bloodstain pattern community in setting down guidelines and standards of how the discipline should be performed. I've been part of that group for a number of years. Prior to that, there was a similar group that was convened federally called the Scientific Working Group on Bloodstain Pattern Analysis. That began in 2002, and I was a member from the inception of that committee up until that committee was replaced through the Organization of Scientific Area Committees, otherwise called the OSAC.
And groups like the OSAC and the previous organization, what's the intent of those?
So as I stated, the intent is to bring together subject matter experts to help to develop guidance documents, standard documents on how the discipline should be performed, or the training requirements that are necessary, other features of it. And it's not the only forensic discipline that does this. DNA does this, fingerprints, documents examination. They all have committees that are addressing those issues.
And is this all designed to have uniformity in terms of how it's being practiced?
I'm sorry,
Or what you just described, is that designed to have uniformity of how bloodstain?
Yes. I mean, the idea is that we would like all areas, all agencies or entities that perform this discipline to have a framework to which everybody will perform it the same way, or at least similarly, have the same standards that they would use to do what they do. Initially, Swigstein had a large international involvement, so it wasn't just the United States that was offering information into this committee and into these documents. There was a large international component as well.
Okay, and Swigstein, the company that was the predecessor to OSAC, that stands for Scientific Work Group, Stains.
Yeah, so a scientific working group it was on bloodstain pattern analysis, but they shortened it to Swigstein.
Okay, and did you have any role in running that organization?
Well, as I mentioned, I was a member from its inception. In 2002, I served as the Quality Assurance Committee chair for a number of years within that group.
And ma'am, have you ever been qualified as an expert to testify in court regarding blood stain pattern analysis?
I have.
How many times?
So specifically to blood stain pattern analysis, I'm not sure. I've testified over 90 occasions on various areas of forensics. Greater than 10 of those are blood stain pattern, maybe more.
And have you ever been qualified in the Commonwealth of Virginia?
I have not.
Okay. Have you ever done work within the Commonwealth of Virginia with police organizations?
Yes, I've conducted training for the Virginia State Police on a number of occasions in blood stain pattern analysis.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd move Ms. Singley in as an expert in blood stain pattern analysis.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, so moved.
Ms. Singley, you had an opportunity to see Ms. Groff's presentation yesterday, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you actually know her, correct?
I do.
Through your various affiliations?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to, in arriving at, well, let me show you a few things and see where we go from there. Your Honor, can we show that to the witness?
Yeah, it is shown to the witness.
Okay.
If you can make it a little bigger, it might help her.
Yeah. Not that.
If you double click on the file name right there you have. There we go. No, you're having the same problem.
Judge, this is the court's PowerPoint that's coming up. I don't know. Well, ma'am, did you have an occasion to review items in this case?
I did.
And items of evidence relating to this case?
Yeah, so I received photographs, so I didn't actually have the physical evidence, but I did review photographs and videos and things of that nature that would expose me to what was evidence, turned out to be evidence in this case.
Okay. Your Honor, I think I'm going to have to switch the computer just because of that PowerPoint thing that pops up. Can I have a 5-minute recess?
No.
Ma'am, are you able to see a picture on your screen?
I can.
Did you have an opportunity to review this item as part of the evidence that you reviewed?
I'm sorry. Judge, have we identified the photograph?
No, I think it's defense 80, at least that's what it was marked yesterday.
83, I believe, Judge, is that?
80.
80?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to have you look at what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 80. Have you seen that?
I've seen photographs of this item before, yes.
Okay, and what is it that you notice when you look at this item right here?
It's a knife. It looks like to be stainless steel, like a chef's style knife, and there appears to be transfer bloodstains or some irregular shaped bloodstains along the knife and the blade.
Now, in talking about bloodstains, is there a uniform terminology, or were there attempts to have uniform terminology as to what bloodstains are and varying other descriptive terms?
You mean the actual terms we use when we're writing reports? Yes, the organization that I mentioned to you earlier has set down standard terminology that we would use in the course of writing reports or training, or even just discussing bloodstain pattern analysis. And so that has been published.
And or is that how you find, do you find that the terminology is uniform amongst bloodstain pattern analysis?
The goal, that is the goal, that it would cause uniformity, and it has definitely helped since that terminology has been utilized or has been written and published. To say that everyone is using it correctly or abiding by that terminology, I can't say that for sure, but I can definitely say that it has, the ends have sort of, the end result has been what we had hoped it would be, and that is to cause the uniformity of that terminology across the discipline.
Now, did you have an occasion to also analyze or look at other aspects of evidence, like the forensic science reports and things like that?
Yes, when I do a bloodstain pattern analysis, the discipline itself is the study of the size, the shape, the distribution, location, appearance of bloodstains. But in the course of the bloodstain pattern analysis, we also have to include or consider what we call task relevant information. So information that is relevant to the bloodstain pattern analysis, not necessarily extraneous information, but those things would be like the autopsy report or medical reports if the individual wasn't deceased, or the DNA reports or other forensic laboratory reports that will help to actually include or exclude classifications and ultimate interpretations at the end.
Now, ma'am, if you look at the picture, there's a specific circle relating to an area of that knife that you've just identified.
Just for the record, you had marked that as 80A yesterday.
80,
the one with the circle.
80A, yes, thank you.
That's what you
identified as Defense Exhibit 80A. Do you see that?
I do.
And do you recall any analysis that you reviewed relating to that particular area of this knife?
Yeah, this is the area of the knife that is at the base of the blade where the handle meets up, and it is one of the areas that was sampled for DNA analysis.
Okay, and did you observe any findings relating to that?
Yes, this area of the knife had DNA. The DNA of Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan could not be eliminated from that sample.
And were there any others that were excluded from that sample?
I believe Brendan Banfield and Juliana were eliminated.
Okay. And is that what you're referring to? The next page?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's...
Your Honor, I would object. This is not...
Well, I mean, he hasn't entered anything into evidence yet, but...
Understood.
And I don't know what this would be marked as. Okay.
80B?
You already have an...
Or 80...
you have 80B, 80C, 80D, 82, 83.
I'll go 80E.
80E. All right, he hasn't entered into evidence yet. He's just showing the witness.
And what do you see this is, ma'am?
It's the results of the bloodstain, the DNA report that addressed this area of the knife.
Okay, and that's a report that you reviewed in your analysis?
I did.
And this is a portion to highlight that particular statement?
Yes.
Okay. And ma'am, is this also from the report?
Are you going to mark this something?
80F? Did you have a chance to review that?
Yes.
Okay, and is this also a report that you reviewed, a portion of it?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that tell you?
Again, it's indicating that Christine Banfield.
Your Honor, I would object to the witness reading from a report that has not been admitted into evidence and is not the complete
Okay, I'll
report.
sustain that
That's
objection.
fine. That's fine, Judge. And ma'am, did you have occasion to review the Office of the Medical Examiner's report relating to Joe Ryan?
I did.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you observe in your analysis relating to the pictures from the Office of the Medical Examiner?
Well, I looked at the photographs of Joe Ryan at the autopsy examination, and in part of that, I was able to review the injuries that he sustained.
Okay. Now, the topic of self-wounding came up with Ms. Graff yesterday. Is self-wounding something that is often found in knife injuries?
Your Honor, objection is to leading.
Well, I'll sustain as leading if you want to rephrase.
Okay. What, if anything, do you find as an expert in knife-related wounds?
So in knife-related activities, investigations that involve sharp instruments, so knifings, things like of those nature, we often see the assailant, it's not uncommon for the assailant to self-wound during those. In fact, when I'm training individuals, it's one of the things I train law enforcement investigators to ensure that they look to areas of the crime scene that may be further away from the victim's bodies to find an isolated blood drop or things like that. So we know this to happen, and it can happen in various mechanisms during the activity that's going on in terms of the criminal investigation. But it's not an uncommon occurrence.
Okay. Were you able to note where the injuries were in your examination for Joe Ryan?
It was on his left thumb, I believe.
Anything? Did you observe anything else?
I think it was a puncture. It was listed as a puncture wound.
Okay. Now, is that the puncture wound that you're talking about?
I'm sorry, I can put it back on.
Sorry.
What, this,
This would be ADF.
it was ADB yesterday.
ADB.
Okay.
So this photo here that you have now.
Yes, this is ADB.
The wound was listed as a central cut puncture of the palmar aspect of the left thumb, and that is what's being depicted here.
Okay. And if ADF, Judge, would that be the next in line?
You have one marked ADC, which I had put down as finger of Joseph Ryan, and I'm not sure if that's the same picture that you used yesterday when you're showing the other expert.
I'm not certain either, Judge. What's the next one, ADD?
Well, we'll do ADC. I mean, we can make this ADC, that's
ADC,
fine. You haven't
yes.
entered it in evidence yet, so ADC.
And ma'am, is this a picture that you've observed in your analysis of the documentation relating to this case?
Yes, these are part of the autopsy photographs.
And is that the same injury that you've previously discussed and identified?
It's on the left, yes, it's in the same location.
And what is that picture of, ma'am?
It's another photo of a different orientation of the thumb.
Okay, so the same injury?
What do you
It
want to
appears to be, yes.
What we want to mark that as?
ADD?
You have a D, you have an E, and you have an F.
ADG?
Okay.
Now, ma'am, in your review of the body, so let's just go through. What did you review, or did your review include body-worn camera?
It did.
Okay. Were you able to review body-worn camera to determine if there were any injuries to Brendan Banfield's hands?
Yes.
Okay. What, if anything, did you find?
Well, I reviewed the video, the body cam video that took him into the ambulance, and they specifically looked at his hands for injuries, and the I guess it was an EMT, or whoever was in the ambulance with him, had indicated there were no injuries.
Okay. Now, ma'am, if you could take a look at the screen. This is the full Office of the Chief Medical Examiner report. Have you had an opportunity to review that?
There's nothing on the screen. There's nothing on the screen.
Towards indulgence. Court's indulgence still.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Get somebody sits in.
It's kind of also involved in
Is it? Judge, is that showing up on your screen?
It was when he was there.
Yeah, I know. I think I've touched the wrong thing. Okay. Ma'am, can you see, Can you see the picture on the screen?
I can.
Okay. And do you recognize that?
This is the DNA report.
Okay. And I'm going to scroll down. Is this the area down here where the cursor is that you previously reviewed?
Yes.
Okay. And that informed your conclusions as to the blood stain near the handle and the handle juncture?
Yes.
And ma'am, can you see this on your screen?
I can.
Okay, and you've reviewed this. This is the report of June 9th, 2023 of the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner?
Yes.
And I'm just going to scroll down. Ma'am, looking at where the cursor is on the screen, is that what informed you as to the exhibit previously?
Yes, this is an area that describes additional injuries.
Okay. Now, did you have an opportunity to review a report from DLI, a private laboratory?
I did.
Okay, and in that report, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what was the sample that they were providing?
So in the DLI report, there was a sample that that was collected by them on the area of Joe Ryan's jeans. That was the waistband, I think interior and exterior waistband zipper, and I believe the button area. But the significance of their sampling was that in their report, they stated that the sample was taken avoiding staining, meaning that they were not trying to collect staining, they were trying to avoid stained areas of that part of the jeans.
Okay, and what would you say about avoiding the staining and still having a laboratory analysis? What are they looking for?
Typically, they're looking for a DNA source that's not coming from staining. So touch DNA, or sometimes they'll do it just to determine who the wearer is of an item of clothing, or sometimes they'll do it just to see if somebody touched that area, that they're curious if they can find the DNA from that individual.
Okay, and do you recall the results of that report?
I believe the results of that area, that included DNA sources from Brendan Banfield and Joseph Ryan, but Brenden and I believe Juliana were both eliminated.
Okay, so let me kind of shift gears here about bloodstain pattern analysis and what you do when you first start out doing it in a case.
You mean my general methodology of how I do an approach? So when I get a case now, and currently I get a case, I want to know as little information about the case as possible. So I try to limit whoever is requesting it from me to just the information that I need to know in terms of the bloodstain. So typically that might be like how many individuals were injured, or if there was more than one deceased, more than one bleeder, what their injuries might have been, things of that nature. And then I will get whatever materials are provided to me. I start looking through the photographs, determining what I can say or maybe not say about certain pattern types. We call that the characterization. We characterize them, as I mentioned, through the size, the shape, the distribution, location of the stains. We look to see how they might correlate with each other. And then we begin or attempt to list a classification or classify them in what might have caused them. So earlier I talked about those characteristics, and I think it's important to understand that bloodstain pattern analysis is answering a very different question than DNA analysis. DNA is answering the who, the BPA, the bloodstain pattern analysis attempts to answer the how. So how the bloodstains got to a location. So once I've done that initial preliminary classifications or some idea of what I believe this might be coming from, I'll then incorporate in things like the autopsy report, DNA analysis, that will help us to refine that classification, maybe eliminate some things that I might have kept in the running in terms of the classification. Then at the end, we discuss what those classifications mean in terms of the DNA and what we might be able to interpret in terms of individual events or things that happened at a particular crime scene.
Now, can you see the picture that's on the screen there?
I can.
Okay. Your Honor, I would identify that as Defense Exhibit 84.
I believe it's already the Commonwealth's Exhibit 173, is that
So
correct?
Judge, the original picture was admitted as Commonwealth's 173.
Okay.
His manipulation of the picture to show the cropping side by side with the original is not.
Okay, so,
specifically neither of those.
all right, so what number did you want to
I
make?
think 84 was the next one.
Yes, okay.
Ma'am, can you describe what you're seeing there on the screen?
Yes, this is the left forearm of Joe Sevrian and bloodstains that were on that left forearm.
Okay. And did you create this side-by-side comparison?
I did.
And what was the intention of that? What were you trying to show?
Just it gives an overall of the arm, you kind of see it in that perspective, and then just I put a square around the area that I cropped so that you could kind of see it, how it related to the arm in total.
Okay. Your Honor, can I move that in as Defense Exhibit 84 and publish it to the jury?
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 84 in evidence.
Can you describe what you're looking at for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and what it is that you do in analyzing something like this?
So first, let's start with what I do when I'm analyzing something like this. Again, I know I'm sounding repetitive, but I look at things like the size, the shape, the distribution, location, and certainly take into consideration the target surface. We know that that has a profound effect on what we see, so we have to think about that when we're looking at things like size and shape, because it can change depending on what the target surface is. This target surface was a bit unique in the sense that it was a forearm that had quite a bit of hair on it, so it provided a different surface than, say, a flat table or even carpet. It tended to have an influence on what we were seeing.
Now, what is it that you can say about this stain pattern?
So I just described what I saw here, which was a linear series, so a series of some irregularly shaped drops or stains that were located on this arm. I did not use the word drop. I used a series of irregularly shaped smaller stains, because if you look at it closely, the stains themselves are almost three-dimensional in shape, because they in areas were clinging to the hair on the arm. So it distorted what we can see in terms of its true shape and true, like even the size of it. It was, well, there's no measurement in here, so we really don't have a true size.
Okay, and so in determining what exactly this stain is, you would want measurement?
Well,
you would check out what the surface is?
Yeah, I mean, we don't always have measurements. Sometimes they're not there, and we can use things in the area that can sort of inform what our size might be, but I don't have a true size. I did call them smaller because they appeared smaller compared to things around it in the area, but yeah, I mean, certainly the more information you have, the more data we can use to then make a classification.
Based on the information that you had relating to these stains, is it possible to make a classification?
I did not make a classification, and this target surface did not lend to classifying these stains to a specific mechanism.
Now, let's switch gears a little bit. In terms of how blood falls on things, can you opine as to what kind of pattern would be created if someone someone put blood onto a surface?
Put blood on how? How are you, I mean, touching a surface? If it
Holding blood and dropping it?
If an individual had, say, blood in their hands that had enough volume for it to release, like if it were to just drop to the ground, we would call that a splash pattern. So it would be a large volume of blood that is falling due to gravity. It's not, you have to be careful to not include their hands swinging, because if their hands swing in that process, now you have cast off, which is blood being released from an object in motion. If it's just merely falling onto the surface, then you would get a splash pattern. And that usually will then have sort of a parent area of where the volume of the blood is. And then because that parent area was created with blood sort of collapsing into itself, it'll create satellite spatters around that area.
Okay, and have you worked with those kinds of patterns?
Yes, I mean, I make up mock crime scenes for my training, so I've created them myself by doing that.
Now, is it plausible for someone to scoop up blood and carry it to a deposit somewhere?
I'm sorry.
Objection, leading.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading.
What, if anything, well, first of all, let's just talk about how would one scoop blood?
I don't know how you would do that.
Okay.
You mean scoop it up from something, like, I mean, it's a fluid, I think it would be difficult. It's not like you can, like you have a dustpan that you could, you know what I mean? When I think of scooping in that nature, I just think in terms of if I had spilled something on my floor in the kitchen, I wouldn't be able to pick it up with my hands, if that's what you're asking me.
Okay. If does the surface that the blood is on, does that, I mean, you're saying you don't know how it can be scooped, but does the surface matter?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you have the blood on something that's porous and absorbent, then there would be less blood that you'd be able to even scoop, if you will. If you know what I mean, there would be less blood. You wouldn't be able to access it because it would be soaking in to an absorbent surface.
Okay. Have you ever experienced in blood stain pattern analysis someone scooping blood and pouring it in another place?
No.
What would be the difficulties of that if that were to have happened?
Well, I think getting it into your hands to begin with would be a challenge, and then transferring it.
Your Honor, I would object at this time. Calls for speculation. She's just testified that she's not had any experience with any scooping of blood, so I'm not.
Speculation?
I think her expertise in blood spatter analysis gives her an opportunity to opine as to how it could be done if it was.
I'll sustain that, for that question, I'll sustain the objection if you want to rephrase.
Blood as a fluid, is it possible to pick it up?
Pick it up on, yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult. I think the difficulty here is, of course, you can touch blood and it picks up onto your fingers, right? Like if you, as a transfer stain. I think the fact that it's a fluid, the challenge is that if you're trying to collect and keep it in the confines of your hand, the first part is getting it into your hands, and the second part is not having it seep back through your fingers, out of your hands. Does that make sense? So like, the only thing I can use to describe it is when I'm making a mock crime scene, sometimes we'll put blood in our hands and make like an impact pattern from it. And just putting small amounts in the hand, it's difficult contain it in the hand, even in doing that, right? So that's about the closest I can get to having an experience of what it's like to actually, and that's when we pour it into our hand from, a cup. I know this sounds a little, we do this, because we use real blood when we do training. So I know what it's like to have blood in the hand and trying to work with it in that way. It's a challenge.
Okay. And what, so just to follow through with your example, what is it that you're trying to show when you would do these trainings?
So all I'm doing is, or me or my trainer will put it in there because we're going to ultimately smack it to create an impact pattern. And by putting it in your hand, you're able to place your hand in a mock crime scene to kind of mimic where somebody might have been beaten or something like that. So we're using it as a training tool for that purpose. It was just an example of the challenge of keeping it contained within the palm of your hand.
Okay. Now, going back to your review of the evidence in this case for purposes of blood stain pattern analysis, did you see anything that indicated that Joe Ryan not being involved in the stabbing?
Objection. Leading?
Yes, I'm sorry, objection, leading.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading.
Okay. What indications, what if anything, do you look at to determine if someone's involved or not involved in an incident dealing with stabbing?
I think maybe I would like to answer it in the methodology of how I look at a bloodstain case. Once I've evaluated the pattern types and come to some classifications and come to some interpretations of how they might relate to each other, I might be asked, or sometimes I'll even have information, like I might have had in this case, to look at it and think of it in terms of statements that were made, or in that we had information from the body cams that I had when I was looking at that. So when I do that, I can kind of evaluate the evidence to see if there's anything that sort of doesn't seem to align with one way or another, or some things that, not necessarily that do, but more looking for the things that might raise, quote, the red flag, like kind of go, oh, this doesn't seem to align with that. Maybe I need to do some more exploration or find out more information about that. So that's what I did in this case.
Okay, and did you, and it sounds to me like you're looking for things that rule someone out and things that stay with the possibility of being one of the people there.
Yes.
Okay. In your pattern analysis, bloodstain pattern analysis, did you find anything that would exclude Joseph Ryan as being involved in the stabbing?
Objection calls for a final conclusion, goes to the...
If you want to approach.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, you had an opportunity to listen to Ms. Graff yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Now, in terms of your discipline of bloodstain pattern analysis, is it your experience that everything can be labeled based upon an analysis?
Judge, objection is to leading.
What, if anything...
I'll sustain the objection, go ahead.
Yes. What, if anything, is your experience as to labeling every aspect of spots, even if they're not tested?
I'm not sure what you mean by labeling. You mean classifying them?
Classifying, sorry. That's...
I'm sorry, state again. So what is my experience regarding whether you can classify everything
Yes.
in a crime scene? Oh, no, many times we can't classify certain stain patterns because of some of the things I already mentioned. It could be the target surface, the amount of stains that we have, the other data that isn't just available for us to form that classification. So that's not uncommon, and we can't really classify every single bloodstain. We don't attempt to in many cases. We could be doing it a long time if we tried to identify or even address every bloodstain that's at a crime scene.
Okay, and in listening to her testimony yesterday, did you have any agreement or disagreement with what she said about certain bloodstains?
There were certain bloodstains that I did not provide a classification for that she did.
Okay. And are there any in particular that you're speaking of?
Well, the forearm stains was one area. The 4 irregularly shaped stains that are on the forearm, she provided a classification for as being drip stains, and I did not.
Okay. And why did you not provide a classification?
Again, as I stated, the target surface here really distorted or what we were able to see to get that sort of well-formed circular stain that you would be looking for to be able to say that it's a drip stain from the exclusion of all other mechanisms. Because once you've classified it as a certain mechanism, you've excluded everything else. I didn't feel there was enough information here for me to do that. And this target surface, it would be inappropriate, I believe, to do that because the target surface was not ideal for being able to do that.
Now, if you didn't have enough information, would it be possible after the fact, which is what was...
Objection is to leading.
All right, I'll sustain leading. Is this a good time to take our lunch break?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our lunch break for an hour. Please do not discuss the testimony with discuss the case with anybody, and don't do any outside research, okay? Thank you. All right. And ma'am, since you're testifying, you can't discuss your testimony with anybody this time to include the defense team, okay? All right, that's fine. So we'll come back at 2:05. You're going to make sure all your technology is ready for the afternoon. To include your exhibit numbers, please.
I was actually going to just talk to your clerk and make sure that I had all of the...
All right, to make sure you get it straight. And
yes.
You don't have to be a hero. I do take paper documents if necessary. You know that. Right?
Judge, I just can't do that. I'm a technology guy now.
So you say. Okay, 2:05, okay?
Thank you.
All right.